Hello and welcome to the June 23rd, 2024 episode of Nick's News. I am your host, Nick. We are brought to you by Some Budget Studios. That's right, I'm starting to put some money into this, as you might see. We're on every other Sunday, and I thank you so much for tuning in or catching the replay on the Facebook page. That's right, we're on Facebook Meta, whatever the hell it's called this week. We are going to be cross-platforming. I know I said last episode we were going to have the YouTube page up. I do not have it up yet. I do apologize for that. I am hoping between now and our next episode to have the YouTube page up, and we will be cross-platforming between Facebook and YouTube. This is a program dedicated to bringing some good news to counter all of the bad news that we are bombarded with on a daily basis, with the hope of bringing a little bit of joy back into the world. Several of our articles are pulled from goodnewsnetwork.org, but I do appreciate all of the articles that are sent in by you, the viewers. So, hi Julie, hi Blake, hi Eliza, hi Donna, hi Grayson. Yes, some of you saw that we have some fancy new things going on. We have a brand new background. I am a huge fan of it. It's beautiful. I love having a little block for the little TV for the timer, and the globe spinning is like the ice on the cake. So, mwah. So, we are going to do some general chat behind the scenes for starters, because I want to get something out of the way, and I want to ask all of you for assistance with something. So, hi Cassidy. So we'll get right into it. Right now, a lot of stuff is happening behind the scenes, not for just Nick's News, but for me. And normally when it's news about my life, it goes in a Nick News category. It's one of our news categories, but I save that for good news. And right now, a lot of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes is not good news. And to that end, I am not at 100%. A lot of the stuff that's going on has beaten me down pretty hard, and I am not where I normally am. But the show must go on, and I absolutely love doing this, so I am going to continue to do Nick's News, and I am going to give it my all. But if I stumble, I just ask for your patience while I get back to 100% and who I am, and back to a better place. So it might be a little touch and go here for the next couple episodes, but I will be here presenting good news. That is my goal, because the big thing about Nick's News is to bring joy. To that end, I would love for everybody to do the same. Go out, figure out a way to bring joy into the world. There's a lot of bad stuff going on for a lot of people. A lot of people are down. Julie just said, yep, she knows that feeling. So I thank you all very much. And yeah, just thank you very much. Eliza said, "Good Nick's News is a source of good news that allows us all to start the coming week on a good note," and I love that. Thank you. So yeah, just be patient with me, please. It's all I ask, and let's keep bringing some joy. So, with that aside, let's get into our regularly scheduled broadcast. Julie, as if I need anything, just ask. I think I just need time, and check-ins are always nice. I won't lie, I'm a sucker for attention, but I mean, I wouldn't be doing this if I wasn't. But yeah, just we all need to maybe check in a little bit more on one another, so we're all helping. So, all right, back to the broadcast. So, we'll start off with our news brew. And we've got a special one tonight. So we had Untitled Art last time. We got Untitled Art again. And what I picked up, let me see if I can get this in here. This beautiful can is barrel-aged red velvet cake pastry stout. This is a 17.5% ABV high-octane beer. I am looking forward to this one. It's made with beet juice concentrate, so apparently it's going to be really red. We don't need the Balisong bottle opener because we've got a can, so let's just crack this sucker open. That was solid. Oh my god, it's red. Oh, it's red. It's not even a wine. We have our beautiful limited edition Harpoon snifter, because strong beers, strong stouts especially, drink them out of snifters. Oh, I don't know if the camera's going to pick up the color of this. You can kind of see it on the pour how red this is. This is blackish red. The head is cherry red. I have poured blood into a cup. Red, Eliza said, red like blood. I've literally just poured a can of blood into a cup. Oh my gosh, look at this. I don't know if it's going to do it justice. It is severely, severely red. It is literally blood in a cup. We're doing Goth Night, says Donna. Oh, it looks like red wine, says Julie. Eliza says vampires are going to be queuing up to watch this show. Goth Night with Nick. Thank you, Julie. Oh, it's going to stain my rips. My rips lead. No. I haven't even had a sip yet. Oh, it smells amazing. It smells like all of the good stuff that you get with a stout. So chocolate, coffee. And then there's like the cream cheese and the beet red velvet cake. I mean, it smells like red velvet cake. I can smell it. Oh my gosh. All right, well, let's get into the other stuff. Nick Stariel. All right, let's get into the other stuff so I can take a sip of this. Oh, Nick Starian. Nick Starian. You gotta love autocorrect. Shoutouts. So, I'm not going to, speaking of wine and the appearance of this beer, I'm not going to stop plugging Fox Hen Winery in Grand Haven, Michigan. I'm really not. If you want some really good wine or cider, swing by. They're open Fridays and Saturdays. And if you go on a Friday in the afternoon, you'll see me there. If it's between 4 and 7 o'clock, we can sit down and have a glass together. So that's where you'll usually find me. My new vampiric rogue. Blake wonders if the fumes are intoxicating. They are. They're getting to me because I'm holding it so close. They're just, Massachusetts, the coffee. It's got the coffee, says Eliza. My new vampiric rogue, says Julie. All right. Next shout out is, of course, a huge thank you to our producer, Donna Day, and our incredible graphic artist, Grayson, from Graphics by Ashford, for the new countdown, and you'll see another new page at the end. I can't thank you both enough so much for everything you've done, helping Some Budget Studios get stuff off the ground. Grayson has been helping me with OBS and getting to figure out how to stream better and set stuff up, and honestly, it's brought Nick's News to a whole new level, and I'm looking forward to what we can do in the future with it. And the new screens, the new pictures, the new backgrounds, banners, everything's just fantastic. I love you both. Thank you so much. And to everybody, a very happy Pride Month and a happy Juneteenth. Two big events that are going on, Pride Month, and we just passed Juneteenth. And I encourage everybody, if you aren't fully aware of the history behind Pride Month and Juneteenth, read up on it. There's a lot of stuff that we don't get. There's a lot of news and a lot of important things around these two events that if you don't look into it, you don't know them, and the context is always necessary. So the history of them, the reason for celebration, read up if you can on Pride Month and Juneteenth. It's amazing. There's so much more to learn, so may we all have a better understanding of the importance of these two events to so many. So, what sort of ciders, asks Blake. They've got a couple of different ciders. It depends. It's a rotating batch. They brew their own, and they're phenomenal. Yes, I do say ciders, Julie. They're great ciders. They did a hopped cider not too long ago. They did a mint cider that was unbelievable. For that was for the Derby, for the Kentucky Derby. They did mint cider, and it was a crazy good combination. I think they were going to do a ginger cider coming up, or it might have already happened last weekend. So I'd have to check their website. If you check their Facebook page, Fox Hen Winery. I plug it all the time on my normal Facebook page, so you can check it out there, or just go to or look for Google search Fox and Hen Winery. You'll find them. Yeah, I got to taste it before it went live. The ginger cider was phenomenal. It was like ginger peach. It was great. So Fox and Hen Winery, it's great. I'm there Fridays, so when I get out of work, I just go right over there. So if you want to have a glass of wine with me between like 4:30 and 8 o'clock, or 4:30 and 7 o'clock, I'll be there. Hey, if you've got open Fridays, I know it's a little bit of a drive for you, Julie, but I mean, swing on out. We'll sit down and have a glass. I just have to have I've got to be gone by 7 because I have a D&D game at 8 o'clock normally. So, and I always look forward to that D&D game. So, all right, what do we got next? News quote. So this was a big one. I'd had a few quotes sent in, but when I saw this one, I just had to go with it. And sadly, it wasn't any of the ones that were sent in, so I apologize to everybody. But yeah, let's get into this quote. Kindness covers all of my political beliefs. No need to spell them out. I believe that if at the end, according to our abilities, we have done something to make others a little happier and something to make ourselves a little happier, that is about the best we can do. To make others less happy is a crime. To make ourselves unhappy is where all crime starts. We must try to contribute joy to the world. That is true no matter what our problems, our health, our circumstances. We must try. I didn't always know this, and am happy I lived long enough to find it out. And that is from Roger Joseph Ebert, best known for the duo Siskel and Ebert, who were American film critics. And Roger Ebert was an American film critic, a film historian, a journalist, an essayist, a screenwriter, and an author. And I think that's, that kind of is when I saw that quote, it really kind of struck with the stuff that I was going to talk about tonight with my own personal struggles and things going on behind the scenes, is that even though I am down and even though I'm not where I want to be, it doesn't mean I can't still try to contribute. And I can try. That's all we can ever do, is just try. So try, and there was a line in there. There was a line in there that was just pure Knicks news, and it was, we must try to contribute joy to the world. I mean, I say it in the intro. It's bringing joy. So, Julie says one of her favorite film critics. Yep. So, yeah, let's go through that one again. Kindness covers all of my political beliefs. No need to spell them out. I believe that if, at the end, according to our abilities, we have done something to make others a little happier, and something to make ourselves a little happier, that is about the best we can do. To make others less happy is a crime. To make ourselves unhappy is where all crime starts. We must try to contribute joy to the world. That is true no matter what our problems, our health, our circumstances. We must try. I didn't always know this, and I'm happy I lived long enough to find it out. Roger Ebert, thank you very much for that. Cheers, everybody. That's 17.5%. That is a delicious 17.5%. Oh my gosh. We'll see how well we get through tonight. And about where this beer hits me. Because, No, it isn't burn going down. It's a continuous burn. Percent from Grayson. Eliza asks, burns going down. Says it burns so good. It's not so much, it's just a constant heat. It's constant. It hasn't stopped. It hasn't stopped. And it's key for those super high ABV beers. Like, I think Worldwide Stout clocks in between 18 and 21%. And I don't think I've really felt that since I had that last, or since I had Utopia's last. And Utopia's is practically brandy at 28%. Maybe one of these Nick's Newses I'll polish off my bottle of Utopias and we'll see how long I get doing shots of that. But, man. Hey, Sean. Sean has joined us, so. Oh my gosh, that beer is good. All right. Bug update. So, some sad news for the bug update. Annie, our orb weaver, is no longer with us. She has passed away. She lived a very long and productive life. She survived the harshness of my workplace, literally fell out of the ceiling at my workplace, which is not a hospitable environment for a spider. And I took her home and gave her a good home. She will be missed, and everything else is quiet in this bug universe that I have. I really need to get something to shake things up, but I don't know quite what I should get. But I'm going to put some thought to it. So. Sean says, no quiet news night for Nick. Darn it. Blake says, if you ever bring that to LARP, that's going to make for a hell of a Plan A night. Yes. I enjoy going to two different LARPs, and we at one of them we have Plan A, which is basically just plan alcohol, and it involves just getting drunk. So, yeah, if I score some more of these, I got to figure out where I got it. I don't know if I picked this one up from Rishi's or if I picked it up in Indiana when I was there last on a work trip. So I'm going to have to look for that beer. Julie says, let's see, by the time he is halfway through, we will get Nick's News the musical. I'll start singing. Blake, I am on board to get another Praying Mantis. We'll see. Donna wants Nick's News the musical. I don't have a good singing voice, folks. This is why I played saxophone. I don't think I have a good singing voice. I sing in the car to myself, but that's like about it. So, all right, let's get into the good news. Our broadcast is broken up into 4 categories, and those 4 categories are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and those wholesome notes that we like to end on, the real touchy-feely articles. So, we'll start with category 1, science and technology. I called this first one All Systems Nominal. Charlie sent this one in. It has been a continuation. We have had a couple of articles about this, but finally, it's back, baby. And I'm going to post this into the chat if y'all want to read along. I got to wait for my live producer to pop up. 20 minutes in, we're already sparking joy, says Eliza. This really does help. I'm not going to lie. Doing this really does help, and talking to everybody. So, all right. Normal news is just too depressing, says Blake. Yes. Voyager 1 is back online. NASA's most distant spacecraft returns data from all 4 instruments. We have had continuous Nick's News articles about Voyager 1's progress coming back from near death. And finally, Charlie sent in an article to confirm Voyager 1 is operational. All right, everyone, we can all breathe a sigh of relief. NASA's Voyager 1 spacecraft is fully operational once more, with all 4 science instruments returning usable data to Earth. The problems began in November of 2023 when Voyager 1 lost its ability to speak with us. More specifically, it started sending to Earth unintelligible data instead of its normal zeros and ones of binary code. Some good comments. Blake shouts, "It lives." Eliza, Voyager popping back up like a bad ex. And Julie Johnson claiming it's technomancy. It really is. If you read up, if you watch like our episodes about it and the articles we've covered, or you look and see the timeline, it really is some new age technomancy, how they got Voyager running again. It's bonkers. And I love every bit of it. Mona saying, "I absolutely love that Voyager is back. Amazing work by NASA." Yes. So, of course, Voyager 1 is 46 years old, ancient for a spacecraft, so it wasn't entirely a surprise that its health might be waning. And that's not to mention that it's in entirely uncharted interstellar territory, some 15 billion miles, or 24 billion kilometers for people that haven't landed on the moon, from Earth. Voyager 1's dogged team was determined to not only figure out what went wrong, but also to fix the problem. And they've succeeded. Controllers identified where the issue was located, the Flight Data Subsystem, or the FDS. They used a package data that was to be sent to Earth, and they sleuthed out exactly what chip was screwed up and was causing the problem. That allowed them to find a workaround. After the team relocated the code that was on the FDS to a new location, or to the damaged chip in the FDS to a new location, Voyager 1 finally sent back intelligible data on April 20th, 2024, and that's when we had another Nick's News article that was that they'd at least started to get something back. So it was only from 2 of its 4 science instruments, though. It wasn't the whole package. Now, just 2 months later, Voyager 1's remaining 2 science instruments are back up and running, communicating effectively with mission control on Earth. Even if Voyager 1 had gone dark for good, however, the mission would still have been a wild success. When you think about it, again, Voyager is 46 years old. It's one of the oldest things that we've shot out into space that is still sending us back data. After it launched in 1977, its primary mission was to study Jupiter and Saturn. That was accomplished by 1980. So in 3 years, its job was done. And then we said, you could do some more. Its twin spacecraft Voyager 2 went on to study Uranus and Neptune. But Voyager 1 is on an unstoppable path. Continuing its journey away from Earth, the spacecraft entered interstellar space back in 2012, returning crucial data about the mysterious realm of interstellar space. It's kind of crazy. Now that Voyager 1 is back online, the team will continue to touch up the spacecraft to get it back in top form, including resynchronizing its timekeeping software to execute commands at the right time, as well as performing maintenance on the digital tape recorder that measures plasma waves. And hopefully, Voyager 1 will have a long, happy life ahead. So they've got to do a couple of fix-its still. Obviously, the clock isn't working quite right. And they've got to make sure that it's lined up properly, because right now we are using our Deep Space Network, a series of telescopes that are aimed out into the galaxy. Yeah, basically into the galaxy, and that network is catching this data that's sent back by Voyager because it's so far away. So we've just got to tweak it a little to make sure it's running right. Eliza didn't realize it was that old. Julie said it's a midlife crisis. And Sean claims it was not macro shit software, which would be long since mothballed and no longer supported. Oh, man, that's good. To everybody at NASA and to Charlie for sending in that article, cheers. Oh, that beer is good. That's a good news brew. This next one was sent in by Ed. Ed, thank you so much. I called this one Fooling Around with Fool's Gold. But I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. Researchers make surprise discovery about byproducts from drill sites, and the impact could be huge. Eliza says, I pity the fool. Turn it on, turn it off from Sean. Did you know that waste from old mining sites could be a surprise source of lithium, an essential ingredient in the batteries that power our smartphones, our laptops, and our electric cars? A new study suggests that a common mineral found in mining debris, pyrite, or fool's gold, could help unlock this valuable resource, according to Interesting Engineering. I still got to get a stinger for that. As the world shifts to cleaner energy, the demand for lithium has skyrocketed. But mining this metal can be costly and damaging to the environment. That's why scientists are excited about the potential to recover lithium from materials we already have on hand, like the leftovers from mining. Researchers from West Virginia University made this game-changing discovery while analyzing shale samples from the Appalachian Basin. They found that even in rocks with lower amounts of lithium, more than half of the lithium could be extracted from the pyrite or fool's gold alone. The more pyrite in the sample, the more lithium they could recover, all per Interesting Engineering. This breakthrough means we may be able to get more of the lithium we need without digging new mines or creating more waste. By recycling materials from old industrial sites, we can find new sources of this green energy building block while cleaning up some of the messes we've left behind. We can talk about sustainable energy without using a lot of energy resources, said researcher Shaylee Bhattacharya in a news release. Lithium isn't just powering our devices, it's key to making the rechargeable batteries that will help us transition to renewable energy and electric transportation. This switch can cut the pollution overheating our planet and threatening our health. Innovations like this fool's gold find brings us one step closer to a future where we can get our air and water clean while still enjoying all the perks of our plugged-in lives. As we continue to find smarter ways to dig up the resources we need, we're not just striking gold, we're striking green. While it will take time to see if this lithium recovery method can work on a large scale, it's an exciting glimmer of what's possible when we think creatively about our energy needs. Eliza says I need one of those NHL goal sirens for engineer. Julie claims that she is a pirate queen. Eliza says, but then WTH is, what the hell is Evanescence going to sing about? Sean, he'd blow out my garage speakers knowing the abuse he'd put them through. We just need to not have a lot of articles that have engineering in it, so I'm not going crazy with the buzzer. So that's fantastic. Ed, thank you so much for sending in this article, and to everybody involved at the West Virginia University of possibly pulling lithium from pyrite. Cheers. A little bit of a spat going on in the chat between Sean and Eliza about who's going to pay for speakers when they get blown out by my engineering buzzer. Oh, man. This next one was also sent in by Charlie. Charlie threw us some really good science articles. I called it Fun Guys Tackle PFAS. And I will copy this into the chat if y'all want to read along. And of course, all these articles are linked in the description section of the Nick's Newses, and they will, when we have the YouTube up, they will be in the descriptions for all the YouTube pages too. So, Marquette fungi business trying to turn PFAS into rocket fuel. Sean claiming the last article was alchemical in nature. Old alchemy. From Marquette, Michigan, two Marquette area entrepreneurs who sell restaurant-quality fresh mushrooms have also received a big grant to further their research into how fungi could be a solution to the nationwide PFAS problem. So PFAS, for those that don't know, is a forever chemicals. It's a series of different forever chemicals that just don't break down in nature. They've been used in different manufacturing processes throughout the years, and we're only really just now learning about the dangers posed by them. So figuring out what to do with them. We've had a couple of Nick's News articles where different companies are coming up with solutions, so we'll see where these folks go. Apparently, their solution may even blast projectiles into the stratosphere. Mushroom enthusiasts turned researchers Joe Lane and Ryan Iacovaci met a few years ago in a mushroom foraging class. Lane has a biology degree from Northern Michigan University, while Iacovaci, that name is going to get me every time, Iacovaci has over a decade of experience in practical agriculture. First coming together for their passion for local food and fungi, the pair quickly became collaborators to discover how mushrooms can solve more problems than an empty dinner plate. Now the pair runs 2 companies. Their first endeavor, Marquette Mushrooms, grows edible mushrooms locally for markets and restaurants. Their latest venture, however, Myconaut, was founded in 2022. It's also what landed them a $275,000 grant from the National Science Foundation earlier this year. Lane and Iacovaci founded Myconaut to formally pursue research that gripped their interest after coming across it. The kingdom of fungi has been kind of neglected for the past 100 years, said Iacovaci. With our specific project, what happened was, we stumbled upon some research from the University of Minnesota that was using an isolated fungal species to break down these pollutants known as PFAS. Uh-oh. Eliza claiming in the chat that I'm feeling this beer. I might be. That chemical likely sounds familiar. What once was lauded as an innovative solution to everything from non-stick pans to firefighting materials has more recently been discovered to possibly take 1,000 years or more to break down and has been found to be bad for human health. It's a global problem that the pair at Myconaut think they can begin to tackle now that they have funding for their research. On the PFAS problem, Iacovaci said, what's interesting is that these compounds are like a carbon chain, like woody debris, but the difference is that there's a fluorine attached to the carbon that makes it very difficult to break down. Sean says, one of these days, one of us has to figure out how to slip a nuclear-strength beer into a harmless-seeming news brew. If anybody ever gets me a beer called Nuclear Penguin, I will drink it on Nick's News. I think it's called Nuclear Penguin. If anyone ever finds it, I'll drink it on Nick's News. When you read about it, you'll figure out why I'm kind of laughing a little. Iacovaci said, while it may be an impossible challenge for people, fungi have this evolutionary wisdom of 2.5 billion years. They've seen it all from volcanoes to asteroids to ice ages, and yet they survived. We thought, if we only know, scientifically, maybe 10% of the fungal genome, and there's upwards of 10 to 20 million species, it's highly probable that there are other species of fungi that know how to manipulate this material for different purposes. He told Local 3 that they hope to use the promising preliminary results shown by other researchers as a jumping-off point to expand the research and create practical applications. The pair at Myconaut saw one possible application in the development of a specialized mushroom and nutrient mix that could be seeded on contaminated ground based on whether the intended use is farming, heavy pollution remediation, or residential use. You know, like how if you go to the doctor, you give them a blood sample and they say, hey, here's a recommendation, said Iacovaci. The team also says they have developed an AI tool to help formulate those recommendations. Iacovaci concedes that there may still be a long way to go before the finish line, saying some of the groundbreaking results that inspired their venture are difficult to replicate. Despite that, he said that the field is also rife with possibilities. It's crazy hopeful to know how many smart people are working on this problem, said Iacovaci. And here's something that's really trippy. If the science holds true, you can homogenize PFAS compounds and basically make them into salts. And you can use these ionic salts, and they can become potentially fuel for ionic thrusters. Iacovacci said it's just one example of what could be possible with the byproduct of their PFAS remediation solution, but said he and Lane have been in some communication with Cal Morris Incorporated, a local team working on solutions to debris in space, about the possibility. Uh-oh. Eliza located tactical nuclear penguin. That's the beer's name. We've talked quite a bit and shared some ideas, and space travel and mushrooms go hand in hand, Iacovacci said. In the near future, the pair has hired a full-time lab technician and plans to continue their research and conduct field tests later this year. Right now, they hope to potentially bring a product to market around 2025. They do have a website link and a social media link if you want to check those out for Myconaut. So that is really cool. So from Charlie, thank you very much for sending in that article, and to Joe Lane and Ryan Iacovacci working on this problem with PFAS with fungi. Cheers. I know. There's like another one that's like snake bite. Oh no, the chat is trying to figure out how to get their hands on tactical nuclear penguin for me. Oh, that was good. That was good. So that gets us out of Category 1 Science and Technology, moves us into Category 2 Health and Medicine. We're going to start off with an article that was sent in by Eliza. Thank you very much, Eliza, for sending in this article. I called it Thinking Outside the Blood Box. Actual title, even more interesting. And this, too, comes from Interesting Engineering. Oh, did Ben show up? If Ben replied to somebody's message, I can't see. Ah, there he is. Hi, Ben. I can't see the actual, replies to chat in the chat. So, I miss those. Actual title of this article, Gut Bacteria Enzymes Could Lead to Universal Blood Production. And lo and behold, we're getting into the vampire-esque stuff. So, here we go. Researchers at the Technical University of Denmark and Lund University have found enzymes from gut microbiota that can potentially lead to universal donor blood. For the first time, the scientists are getting a step closer to the life-saving universal blood production. The crucial step was to identify long strings of sugar molecules that make blood donations incompatible with recipients who have another blood type. The next step was to use a cocktail of gut bacteria enzymes to remove the strings from red blood cells. So, careful, he bites. Open chat warfare from Sean. Great. So that's one of the big things with blood. How your blood is coded is through these long chains of sugars, and those are what are helping to determine if you have A positive, B negative, AB positive, O negative, RH golden, the golden blood. So the theory is, if we can strip those chains off without damaging the blood cells themselves, the red blood cells, then you've effectively made universal blood that will be accepted because the immune system is going to look at it and it's not going to have any of the markers that say, hey, I need to stop that. It's just going to let it go. Back to the article. Where was I? There it is. Red blood cells carry specific complex sugar structures, antigens, that define the four blood groups A, B, AB, and O. These complex sugar structures are important, but here they help in distinguishing different blood types. They are attached to the surface of red blood cells. It is important to point out that the blood type of the donor must be compatible with the recipient. That is, the same rules apply when it is a matter of transplantation. Dr. Martin Olson told Live Science that instead of creating artificial enzymes, they asked the question, what looks like a red blood cell surface? The mucus in our gut does. As he explained, they borrowed the enzymes from the bacteria that produce mucus. The bacterium Akkermansia muciniphila, I swear I proofread this article. Akkermansia muciniphila, that can be found in the human gut, has enzymes that can break down sugar chains. This means when mixed with A and B blood, those antigens are removed and align closely to type O blood. In other words, it is more compatible with so-called universal blood types. Professor Maur Abu Hashim said the new enzyme cocktails remove the well-described A and B antigens. We are close to being able to produce universal blood from Group B donors. There is still work to be done to convert the more complex Group A blood, he added. For example, they removed the original antigens from type B blood. Then they tested it with type O plasma. About 80% of donor B plasma was compatible with type O plasma. This rose to slightly more than 90% when the sugar strings were removed. However, with blood group A, it's about 50%. So blood group A, a little bit more complex. Can I get a Latin tutor for Nick, says Sean. That might mean that the A blood group is a little more complicated. Donna says, can I still buy Tactical Nuclear Penguin? This was an extremely limited edition beer of only 500 bottles. It's long since disappeared. For those interested in sampling our strong stuff, pursue our range of slightly more sessionable amplified beers below. So everyone's hunting for those high ABV beers. According to a study published 2 years ago, it has a beneficial role in managing chronic inflammatory diseases. Also, in recent years, researchers have been investigating the potential of this bacterium. It makes up about 3% of the overall microbiota in healthy adults, so it's a good chunk of the bacteria that's running around in our gut system. More data is needed, and the researchers need to improve the enzymes so that they can be able to achieve the final goal of universal blood production. It is estimated that around 120 million units of blood are donated in the world every year. Some data indicates that every 2 seconds, someone in the world needs blood. It is important to point out that the blood type of the donor must be compatible with the recipient. Converting blood types A or B to universal blood type can help from several angles. First of all, it reduces the risk of life-threatening reactions in case of a mismatch with the recipient. On the other hand, there will be no need to store different blood groups, which reduces cost, for example, and very importantly, this can lead to increased blood reserves. The researchers from DTU and Lund University have applied for a patent. They plan to advance their work through a joint project over the next 3.5 years. However, before it can be produced and used, it must undergo rigorous testing in patient trials. So that's a really good one. Thank you very much, Eliza, for sending in that article. And to everybody at DTU and Lund University working on universal blood. Cheers. I do apologize for the pause there. Thank you, and bear with me. Oh, what are we on now? Ed sent in an article. Thank you very much, Ed, for sending in this article. And because of what it's pertaining to, it's called cancer. Fuck cancer. We absolutely hate cancer. I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. And actually, it was cool. This article did show up on Good News Network as well. So good to see a crossover from The Guardian, where Ed got the article from, and Good News Network. Scientists develop glowing dye that sticks to cancer cells in breakthrough study. Scientists have developed a glowing dye that sticks to cancer cells and gives surgeons a second pair of eyes to remove them in real time and permanently eradicate the disease. Experts say the breakthrough could reduce the risk of cancer coming back and prevent debilitating side effects. The fluorescent dye spotlights tiny cancerous tissue that cannot be seen by the naked eye, enabling surgeons to remove every last cancer cell while preserving healthy tissue. That could mean fewer life-changing side effects after surgery. The technique was developed by scientists and surgeons at the University of Oxford in collaboration with the California biotech company Imagine AB Inc. and was funded by Cancer Research UK. We are giving the surgeon a second pair of eyes to see where the cancer cells are and if they have spread, said Freddie Hamdy, professor of surgery at the University of Oxford. With this technique, we can strip all the cancer away, including the cells that have spread from the tumor, which could give it the chance to come back later. In the first trial of its kind, 23 men with prostate cancer were injected with the marker dye before undergoing surgery to remove their prostates. The fluorescent dye highlighted the cancer cells and where they had spread into other tissues, such as the pelvis and the lymph nodes. A special imaging system was used to shine a light on the prostate and nearby regions, making the prostate cancer cells glow. The ability to see such detail allowed the surgeons to remove cancer cells while preserving healthy tissue. Details of the breakthrough were published on Monday, the 10th of June, in the European Journal of Nuclear Medicine and Molecular Imaging. Donna says this is like casting fairy fire on cancer. Yes, it is. It's the first time we've managed to see such fine details of prostate cancer in real time during surgery, said Hamdy, the lead author of the Promote study. It also allows us to preserve as much of the healthy structures around the prostate as we can to reduce unnecessary life-changing side effects like incontinence and erectile dysfunction. Prostate surgery is life-changing. We want patients to leave the operating theater knowing we have done everything possible to eradicate their cancer and give them the best quality of life afterwards. I believe this technique makes the possibility a reality. The procedure works by combining the dye with a targeting molecule known as IR800 IAB2M. Say that 5 times fast. The dye and marker molecule attach themselves to a protein called prostate-specific membrane antigen, or PSMA, found on the surface of prostate cancer cells. David Butler, 77, a retired sales development manager from Southmore, Oxfordshire, is cancer-free after becoming one of the 23 men to participate in the trial. Before the surgery, scans had indicated that his prostate cancer had begun to spread. Now fully recovered and healthy, Butler said he was a lucky man and was determined to enjoy every moment of life. He added, I retired early to make the most of life's pleasures, gardening, playing bowls, and walking. Taking part in the Promote study has allowed me to have many more of those pleasures for years to come. Though the technique has been trialed in patients with prostate cancer, it could be adapted to other forms of the disease. Experts hope the dye can be used for other types of cancer by switching the protein with which it attaches itself to cancer cells. Dr. Ian Fox, Executive Director of Research and Innovation at the Cancer Research UK, said, surgery can effectively cure cancers when they are removed in an early stage, but in those early stages it's near impossible to tell by eye which cancers have spread locally and which have not. Further trials were now required in larger groups of patients, but the combined marker dye and imaging system could fundamentally transform how we treat cancer in the future, Fox said. This really is pretty crazy. It is exciting that we could soon have access to surgical tools which could reliably eradicate prostate and other cancers and give people longer, healthier lives free from the disease. That is really cool. Ed, thank you very much for sending that one in. Yep. And a big, very cool cheers to University of Oxford and everybody involved in using dye to pick out and kill cancer. Cheers. How many more articles we gotta get through? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We gotta get through 6 more articles. And once again, fuck cancer. When we do YouTube, I'm gonna have to bleep some of those. Apparently you can only say the F word so many times in like a 30-second span, so I'll have to make sure I don't, go over it or who knows what. When we get into YouTube, we'll figure out YouTube. So that is going to get us out of Category 2, Health and Medicine. We are going to jump into Category 3, Flora and Fauna, aka Plants and Animals. This first one was sent in by Kendra. Kendra, thank you so much for sending in this article. I called it A Cute Little Spirit. But I will copy and paste this into the chat for y'all to read along. Extremely rare white bison calf spotted in Yellowstone National Park. White bison are seen as sacred by most Native American tribes and are often referred to as spirit bison or ghost bison. An extremely rare white bison calf was captured on camera in Yellowstone National Park last week by a photographer who happened to be visiting the park with her family right after it was born. The white bison calf, said to be 1 in 10 million, was spotted in the Lamar Valley area of the park located in its northwestern corner. Aaron Bratton, a photographer from Kalispell, Montana, snapped the photos while visiting the park with her family on Tuesday. The pics were taken just moments after the calf was born. Bratton said she visits Yellowstone 2 or 3 times a year, but has never stumbled upon anything like this. I couldn't believe what I was seeing, she said. It was so surreal. I just knew it was something special and one of the coolest things I've ever photographed. Bratton said she initially thought the calf was a coyote because of its rare color. And honestly, if you look at it next to Mom, it kind of looks like a little coyote. White bison are seen as sacred by several Native American tribes and often referred to as spirit bison or ghost bison. However, some believe they are a symbol of evil, according to Ozark Valley Bison Farm in Arkansas. The rare color could be a result of albinism, a genetic condition in which an animal lacks pigmentation, or it could be from leucism, in which an animal has some pigmentation but is still white. There are some adorable pictures of the new bison calf with its mother. It is fantastic. I recommend you go through them if you want an awe moment. That is fantastic. Kendra, thank you so much for sending that one in. And to Aaron Broughton for snapping the photos of this very rare 1 in 10 million white ghost bison or spirit bison. Cheers. Ooh, follow up from Donna. They have confirmed that it's not an albino because it has black skin. So this would be leucism, where it's just missing a certain type of pigmentation. So for this next one, so we have a couple of article titles that get reused over and over. I try to come up with snappy titles for all the articles that we go through. But sometimes I reuse them. Fuck cancer. COVID. Both of those have a set title. Anytime we have articles about those. We've got a new one. We've got a new one that I am dubbing Obligatory Cat Article. For several Nick snoozes, we've had cat articles. So I figure at this point, because a lot of the viewers probably have cats or like cats, we're going to do an obligatory cat article here and there. Immediately from Julie, I got a yay. So, this one, I will copy and paste in the chat if y'all want to read along. Yep, there's a lot of yays going up in the chat right now for the obligatory cat article. This one was almost a wholesome note. Missing for 12 years, beloved cat named Artie finally reunited with his family. A Welshman has been reunited with a family cat who has been lost for 12 years. Then, just 17 years old, Theo Will McKenna was attending a university near the family's home in Conans Quay, Wales, when their cat Artie got out and never came home. McKenna remembers staying out for hours with a bag of treats, but couldn't locate their beloved white and gray cat. McKenna would visit once a week for months to look some more, but gradually lost hope of ever seeing Artie again. Julie immediately saying she didn't send this one in. Sean, we sure know who the culprits are. Oh boy. I love the chat. I reached the point where I thought that either, God forbid, something had happened to him or someone else had taken him in, he said. Then, in 2024, residents of a home in Conans Quay called a local veterinarian after a gray and white cat appeared in their backyard one day and stayed put for 4 days straight. The respondent vet found that the cat, who turned out to be the missing Artie, was carrying a microchip registered to Theo Will McKenna's mother and a contact number for North Clyde CLWYD? What is that word? North Cloud? I'm going to say it's Cloud. For North Cloud Animal Rescue, or NCAR. NCAR got the call and came to pick up Artie, but with the microchip registered to an old phone number, they took to Facebook to try and find the McKennas. One of Theo Will's friends apparently recognized Artie and sent the post to him. They got him stable and then posted on their Facebook page explaining that he'd been found. My friend saw it and sent me a post. It took me a second to recognize him because he looked so bedraggled and skinny, McKenna said. It didn't feel real. I thought there was no way it could be him, he added. It has been 12 years. He went missing when I was 17. I thought no cat could survive 12 years on the street. Artie then received some much-needed medical treatment, removed some teeth, treated his hyperthyroidism, and took out some precancerous lumps in his ears, McKenna said, adding that while Artie's days on the streets were behind him, new challenges remained, like getting used to McKenna's other cat. We're still in the trial period, but he's been completely fine. He's purring up a storm every time I go near him. My other cat has been a little wary, but we've been doing introductory methods and getting her used to his smell. It's a slow process, but I'm absolutely determined that he's staying with me. McKenna set up a GoFundMe, which there's a link in the article, to ensure that 16-year-old Artie receives all the medical care he needs in the twilight years of a tumultuous life. His veterinary care right now amounts to about $65 a month. But that is amazing. The cat was 4 years old, went missing for 12 years, shows back up, and is reunited with his owner. Eliza corrects me. It's pronounced Clwyd. CLWYD is Clwyd. Yeah, I'm going to go with Cloud. Sean says, even the Irish and the Scots can't understand the Welsh, even when fooked. Feckin' Welsh. Oh, it's fantastic. To Artie, the cat, for surviving 12 years on the street, and the reunion with Artie's owner, what was Theo Will McKenna. Cheers. He was tired, says Eliza. So, sure enough, this next article has another one of our predetermined titles. Not all heroes wear capes. And the flip side for a cat article is a dog article. So I'm going to copy and paste this in the chat if y'all want to read along. Julie says he wanted treats. Dog runs 4 miles to get help for owner who crashed car into an Oregon ravine. The owner of this pickup, and the picture is horrifying. The owner of this pickup has one of his dogs to thank for his life after a loss of control in the mountains of Oregon saw him turn over into a ravine. Injured but alive after his crash on the U.S. Forest Service Road 39, one of Brandon Garrett's 4 dogs ran to get help. According to a statement from the Baker County Sheriff's Office, the dog managed to negotiate 4 miles of wilderness and trails to make its way back to a campsite where some of Garrett's family had been staying. He hadn't returned to camp that night, so they were already worried and on edge, and the appearance of the dog confirmed their fears. Meanwhile, Garrett was able to crawl approximately 100 yards from the vehicle, where he spent the night on dry ground. The rest of the party continued to search for him, and family members located his vehicle on the morning of June 3rd, calling emergency services at this time. Members of the Baker County Search and Rescue Ropes team set up their rescue equipment and began the difficult task of reaching Garrett. With help from the Forest Service's chainsaws, which cleared their path to him, they loaded and secured him in a rescue basket. He was connected to a high-line rope system and pulled across the ravine, where he was transferred to medical personnel, who in turn transported him to a life flight helicopter for airlift to a regional hospital. His 3 other dogs were all unharmed. With all their experience performing rescues and searches in the mountains, the rescue service members said that without Garrett's dog, there was a very good chance he would not have been found. It's a harrowing reminder that not all heroes wear capes or clothes at all. Some have fur and bark. So they don't even name the dog in the article, which I think is a huge loss. Unless Garrett didn't name the dog, which shame on you, Brandon Garrett, for not naming your savior. But that is amazing. Blake saying this beer is finally getting to me. Maybe a little. To Brandon Garrett's dog that traversed 4 miles to get its owner the help that he needed after rolling his truck into a ravine. Cheers. You're a hero, dog. Julie said that's a good boy. Eliza says the best boy. Sean says the goodest boy. Julie says call him Scooby. He gets all the snacks. Sean corrects Blake, says, oh, this isn't the worst we've seen him. I think I did have a stronger beer than this. Maybe I had a worldwide stout for one of the Nick Snoozes in the past. I think that one really got to me. I'm trying to take my time with this one. Eliza saying he rode it through the desert. He could have given the damn horse a name. I used to sing that song a lot as a kid. That's great. All right, so that gets us out of flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and we're going to get into category 4, the wholesome notes. And here come the ones we like to end on. So all 3 of these were sent in by you, the viewers. I appreciate all of you so much. This first one's from Eliza, and Eliza titled this. I don't know if she meant to, but we went with the title, It's About Damn Time. And I'm going to copy and paste this into the chat if y'all want to read along. The Stanley Cup Final in American Sign Language is a welcome addition for deaf community. Bob Madden's eyes darted from right to left, watching Game 2 of the Stanley Cup Final from a couch with his son Jonathan at his side and the family dog Ruby at their feet. Madden, who is deaf, was enjoying the view with access to the commentary delivered in American Sign Language in what is believed to be the first for a major sports league game broadcast. I think I'm starting to like this, the 68-year-old Madden said Monday night in his home, about 50 miles northwest of Detroit. It's something new for the deaf community. When I was a boy, we didn't even have closed captioning. Closed captioning has been around since 1980, but the boxes of text in English do not provide true access to viewers in the deaf community, whose first language is ASL. The NHL became the first major sports league to offer play-by-play and analysis in ASL during a live broadcast last week when Florida hosted Edmonton in the Cup Final opener on Saturday night. ESPN Plus and Sportsnet Plus will feature the groundbreaking platform again Thursday night for Game 3, with the Oilers down 0-2 in the best-of-7 series. Now, this article came out on June 13th. I actually don't know what happened with the Stanley Cup Finals. I don't watch hockey enough, but yeah, so they kept doing it. They kept having this American Sign Language interpreter on screen so that you didn't have to read the subtitles. That's crazy. It's a proud moment for our sport, and it's a great example of what can be done to support all communities, said Kim Davis, the NHL's Senior Executive VP of Social Impact, Growth Initiatives, and Legislative Affairs. Authentically demonstrating that the deaf community is an important fan base, a fan-in-waiting fan base is the essence of what inclusion is all about. A company that works to improve access to ASL in sports partnered with the NHL to deliver play-by-play and commentary for the underserved community. PXP Chief Operating Officer Jason Altman, who is deaf, and Noah Blankenship from Denver's Office of Deaf and Hard of Hearing Services appear on the right side of a split screen next to live coverage of the game. I grew up watching sports with my dad, and it was our best way to bond, Altman said via FaceTime in ASL in an interview with the Associated Press a day after Game 2. I remember watching ESPN with Chris Berman and Dan Patrick and saying I wish I could do that, but I am deaf and it would be difficult in this world. While this is a full circle moment for me, I don't view it as an opportunity for me. This is an opportunity for the deaf community to be elevated and provided access. A lot of folks in the chat. Sean said 3-0 stranglehold by the Panthers, and now we're at Game 7 for all the marbles, including an 8-1 and 5-1 thumping by the Oilers. All right, so Game 7's tomorrow, folks. This episode is the 23rd of June, so June 24th is Game 7. Wow, this could be big. A little bit of arguing back and forth. Oh, boy. Oh. Where did we leave off? The deaf community is so often pushed aside, and the NHL ASL project is an opportunity to show how vibrant the community is with a rich history and language, he added. We have gotten feedback from deaf children who have said how happy they are to see deaf people on TV and to say that they feel like they're being seen. That's the best part about this job. And the job is difficult for Altman, Blankenship, and viewers. Hockey, especially at the NHL level with the championship at stake, does not provide many pauses in the frantic end-to-end action for the commentators to share insights in ASL. The challenge is to find the right time to tell a short story or provide an analysis as an added value to the viewers, Altman said. Madden, meanwhile, had the challenge of watching the game and the commentary at the same time on a screen that also included other potential distractions. Graphics such as ice time for the players on the ice, statistics, play-by-play, and a crowd intensity meter that measures crowd noise were also shown. It's hard to watch with one eye going one way and one eye going the other, Madden said. It's the same challenge with closed captioning, but this is better in ASL. Hearing commentators are not heard during the NHL ASL broadcasts, which includes only sounds that would be heard in the arena, such as the officials calling a penalty, blowing a whistle, skates cutting through ice, and sticks hitting pucks. This is the first time we have done this for the deaf community, Altman said. I have high expectations, but I have told my colleagues we need to give ourselves some grace. Good. Sean and Julie doing a bit of chin waggling over in the chat. Both of them masters of the words. The initiative allows the deaf and hard of hearing communities to enjoy the excitement and intricacies of the game on an equal footing, said Bobby Beth Scoggins, the interim CEO of the National Association of the Deaf. The inclusion of American Sign Language coverage during NHL hockey games is a groundbreaking and historic moment for our deaf communities, Scoggins said. This initiative marks a significant step forward towards inclusivity and equal access in sports broadcasting. That is really cool. To the NHL and to Eliza for sending in that article. Cheers. Oh my God. This beer. Oh, we've only got two more articles. Then I gotta finish it. All right. This next one was sent in by Cassidy. Thank you very much, Cassidy, for sending in this next one. I called it Everyone Wins, but I will copy and paste this into the chat if y'all would like to read along. You can do it. Do it as a song. No, I'm not gonna. No. At some point, we'll do a Nick's News musical, and I'll try to sing song some of the articles, but not right now. Not right now. Oh, it'd be a travesty. Grand Blanc retailer who sold the $842 million Powerball winner to donate commission to employees and community. I'm sad I didn't win, but that's okay. But the big thing about this is that when a company sells a winning ticket, they get a commission. It's a very large commission, and what this retailer did is nothing short of great. So, no, Julie, I'm not going to. I'm not going to, Julie. I'm sorry. Nabil Nanashi said it didn't take long at all for he and his family to decide what to do with the $50,000 commission check he earned after his store, the Food Castle of Grand Blanc, sold a winning Powerball ticket worth $842.4 million. Give it right back to his employees and the community. It feels good. It's going to help a lot of people, Nanashi said. We talked about it, me and my family, and we decided that's what we're going to do. Nanashi said he and his family waited for several months for the winner of the jackpot to come forward and claim the prize before he would receive the commission. But once it was clear they were going to receive the money, the family didn't hesitate on what to do. Michigan Lottery Commissioner Susanna Shkreli, commended Nanashi for giving the money back to the community, adding that retailers like him are what drive the Michigan Lottery. The Food Castle has been a Michigan Lottery retailer for over 20 years, and like most of our retailers, is a small family-owned business, Shkreli said. It's a testament to who our retailers are. These are family people that care about their employees, they care about their community. It's really a beautiful thing. I'm not surprised that he decided to do that. It just goes to show that these are the type of people that are benefiting from the Michigan Lottery. It's very exciting and heartwarming, and I thank the Nanashi family for doing that. Nanashi said the family will have a list together in the next few days of which organizations they plan to help and how much each beneficiary will receive. During a press conference Tuesday, Nanashi specifically mentioned food pantries in Grand Blanc and Waterford as possible beneficiaries. Since selling the big winner, Nanashi said there's been a buzz around the store as customers realized such a big winner was sold there. Everybody is talking about it. Everybody is excited that it happened in Grand Blanc, Nanashi said. The Food Castle, located at 3055 East Grand Blanc Road in Grand Blanc, has sold a jackpot in the past as a player brought home a $300,000 prize on an instant lottery ticket bought at the store in March of 2019. Now that his store is getting the reputation of selling big lottery winners, Nanashi had a simple message for his customers. I hope you win. For the latest on Michigan Lottery, check out the official Michigan Lottery site, which also offers more information on instant tickets, raffles, and other lottery games. And while they were lucky winners, it's smart for players to check their tickets immediately, as a Mega Millions winner worth $1 million sold in Southfield in 2023 went unclaimed. The money instead went to the state's school aid fund. Yeah, $50K that they are going to roll back into their community, and I think that's fantastic. Yeah, to Cassidy for sending in this article, and to the Nanashi family for taking their commission check for selling one of the $842 million Powerball ticket, the $50,000 commission, and rolling that back into their employees and their community. Cheers. And now we make it to our last article, and I hope you're ready. This one was sent in by Charlie. Yeah, that is, Donna mentioned that's cool that the unclaimed winnings went into schools. I do like that that's what happens to that money when it goes unclaimed. I'm not going to lie, if I won something like $842 million, took the prize, and it was like, I don't know, that probably equates to like 375, 380 million or something like that after the government takes its fair share. I think I would donate more than $1 million to schools, because I come from a teacher family. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm going to pump money into the public school district. He just got nose booped by Kaylee. That's adorable. I don't know if Charlie's in the chat. I hope that they are. I hope that Charlie is watching because we're doing Charlie's article last, and this one is amazing. Charlie, if you're in the chat, post. I really hope you catch this. I haven't checked usually I have my phone right here, and some folks that can't make it will message me. I would be screaming at them that they need to be on to listen to their article get read, because this is a great article. But I think we're going to start. I think we're going to start. They must be away. Let me poke my phone. I don't see a message from them, so all right. They're just going to have to catch the replay. So I called this one Love is Eternal. And I am going to copy and paste this in the chat if y'all would like to read along. If somebody wants to yell at Eliza Ashley Irwin to be watching while I read this and try to hold it together, by all means, blow up their phone or their chat. That's who I mean by Charlie. This is going to be rough, folks. This is going to be rough. All right, let's get the show on the road here. A World War II veteran just married his bride near Normandy's D-Day beaches. He's 100. She's 96. Together, the collective age of the bride and groom was nearly 200. But World War II veteran Harold Terrans and his sweetheart, Jean Swerlin, proved that love is eternal as they tied the knot Saturday inland of the D-Day beaches in Normandy, France. Their respective ages, he's 100, she's a youngster of just 96, made their nuptials an almost double-century celebration. Terrans called it the best day of my life. On her way into the nuptials, the bubbly bride-to-be said, "It's not just for the young people, love. You know, we get butterflies, and we get a little action also." The location was the elegant stoneworked town hall of Carrington, a key initial D-Day objective that saw ferocious fighting after the June 6, 1944 Allied landings that helped rid Europe of Adolf Hitler's tyranny. Like other towns and villages across the Normandy coast, where nearly 160,000 Allied troops came ashore under fire on 5 codenamed beaches, it's an effervescent hub of remembrance and celebration on the 80th anniversary of the deeds and sacrifices of young men and women that day, festooned with flags and bunting, and with veterans feted like rock stars. As the swing of Glenn Miller and other period tunes rang out on the streets, well-wishers, some in World War II period clothes, were already lined up a good hour before the wedding, behind barriers outside the town hall, with a rousing pipe and drum band also on hand to serenade the happy couple. Not to detract from the article, but this was something that was going on for the 80th anniversary of the D-Day landings. All across Normandy, the survivors, because there are so few, and this may be the last decade celebration that they participate in, because who knows in the 90th anniversary if any of them will still be with us, sadly. These men and women were treated like absolute royalty. There were trading cards that were made of their statistics from their military careers, and apparently children were running out to get their autographs. And the video and the clips that you can find from that day for these men and women, the veterans of World War II and the Normandy landings, is nothing shy of incredible. So to add this to this occasion is astounding. Sean saying he has several proud veterans in his family, and he's driving the damned bus. Yep. After both declaring "we" to vows read by Carrington's mayor in English, the couple exchanged rings. "With this ring I thee wed," Terence said. She giggled and gasped, "Really?" With champagne flutes in hand, they waved through an open window to the adoring crowds outside. To everybody's good health, and to peace in the world and the preservation of democracy all over the world and the end of the war in Ukraine and Gaza, Terence said as he and his bride then clinked glasses and drank. The crowd yelled "La Marie," the bride, to Swirlin, who wore a long flowing dress of vibrant pink. Terence looked dapper in a light blue suit and matching pink kerchief in his breast pocket. This really is epic. And they enjoyed a very special wedding night party. They were invited to the state dinner at the Élysée Palace on Saturday night with President Emmanuel Macron and U.S. President Joe Biden. "Congratulations to the newlyweds," Macron said, prompting cheers and a standing ovation from other guests during the toast praising French-American friendship. "The town of Carrington was happy to host your wedding, and us, your wedding dinner," he told the couple. The wedding was symbolic, not binding in law. Mayor Jean-Pierre Lenoir's office said he wasn't empowered to wed foreigners who aren't residents of Carrington, and that the couple, who are both American, hadn't requested legally binding vows. However, they could always complete those formalities back in Florida if they wished. Lenoir likes to say that Normandy is practically the 51st state of the U.S., given its reverence and gratitude for Allied soldiers and the sacrifices of tens of thousands who never made it home from the Battle of Normandy. "Love is eternal, yes, maybe," the mayor said, referring to the newlyweds, although his comments also fittingly describe the feelings of many Normans for veterans. "I hope for them the best happiness together." Dressed in a 1940s dress that belonged to her mother, Louise, and a red beret, 73-year-old Jane O'Lear was among spectators who waited for a glimpse of the lovebirds. The couple, both widowed, grew up in New York City, she in Brooklyn, he in the Bronx. "It's so touching to get married at that age," O'Lear said. "If it can bring them happiness in the last years of their lives, that's fantastic." The World War II veteran first visited France as a 20-year-old U.S. Army Air Forces corporal shortly after D-Day. Terence enlisted in 1942 and, after shipping to Britain, was attached to a 4-pilot P-47 Thunderbolt fighter unit as their radio repair technician. On D-Day, Terence helped repair planes during returning from France so they could rejoin the battle. He said half his company's pilots died that day. Terence himself went to France 12 days later, helping transport freshly captured Germans and just freed American POWs to England. Following the Nazi surrender in May of 1945, Terence again helped transport freed Allied prisoners to England before he shipped back to the U.S. a month later. Swirlin made it abundantly clear that her new centenarian husband doesn't lack for riz. "He's the greatest kisser ever, you know," she proudly declared before they embraced enthusiastically for TV cameras. "All right, that's it for now," Terence said as he came up for air. To which she quickly quipped, "You mean there's more later?" Oh my gosh. Oh. That is an amazing article. Charlie, thank you so much for sending that in. And to the newlyweds, Harold Terence and Jean Swirlin. Cheers. And to all the veterans of the D-Day landings and World War II, and every conflict that has ever been faced. Cheers. Well, that was 11 amazing articles. I thank you so much to everybody that sent articles in. We had articles sent in this week from Charlie, Ed, Kendra, Cassidy, Eliza. Unbelievable articles. Great articles across the board, across all our categories, and some great wholesome notes there at the end. Thank you all so much. I got through the article. I didn't cry. I'm not crying, you're crying. That's about it. I tweaked the ring light and I didn't see the camera auto focusing as much, so I hope that's, I saw it just do it, but yeah, I know, Sean. It's after mine too, but I think it's worth it. So I guess that's it. I'll play us out. Thank you all again for tuning in or catching the replay on the Nick's News Facebook page or the soon-to-come YouTube page. If you can, throw a like, subscribe, all those fun things. I'm not going to make you, but it is going to help like algorithms in the future, because something that I really want to do is I want to blow Nick's News up. We are, if anything, hit with more and more bad news on a daily basis. And I want to do everything I can to bring some good news into the world. And if that means blowing a YouTube channel or a Facebook page up, then so be it. And the biggest way to do that is obviously support from you, the viewers. So likes, subscribes, all those fun things, just gets it out there. I noticed some hits for Nick's News on a few things that I hadn't seen it get hit on before. So it really is starting to pick up a little bit of traction, and I want to blow that up. I think I really do. So again, we're live every other Sunday. Our next episode is going to be on the 7th of July. So we will be following up the 4th of July. We'll be on the 4th of July weekend on the 7th. I encourage participation, so if you feel so inclined, please, by all means, you can post suggestions for news brews, for shout-outs, for news quotes, or for those good articles that y'all send in, those good news articles that we can present on future episodes. I always appreciate a variety of articles across our 4 categories, and again, those categories are science and technology, health and medicine, flora and fauna, aka plants and animals, and the wholesome notes that we like to end on. So, Sun's B-Day is the 5th. Well, we're going to have to do a shout-out, Eliza. So, as always, thank you again. I love you all so much. You have a great night. I'm going to play us out, and take a look at this.